live. Hello.
Hello, hello, my dear friend. How are you?
Doing so great. I'm so awesome today. How about you?
Oh, it's been fun. It's early here in El Salvador, but I just woke up, so happy and just, so eager to be here sharing this with you.
Oh, how does it get any better? I love chatting with you. And thank you for
Yes.
so early.
Yeah. No, we wake up really early in tropical countries because our days are shorter. We have always sunset at around 6 o'clock p.m., 6:30 at the latest. So
Okay.
we need to start work early in the mornings.
Well, we need to start work early because the sun goes away early.
That's
Early.
true.
Well,
So what are we talking about today? About something that is
talk about
very interesting.
yes, right? I was like, let's talk about stress, baby.
Yeah, I love that. It's
And
it's funny that you mentioned that, because I just said we have to get up early to start work. But getting up early or having long work hours doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get stressed about work,
yeah.
because you can change the attitude towards work even if it's longer hours. Your body doesn't have to go into stress mode just because it's work time.
Exactly.
It can be fun to do work.
If you're lucky, if you choose it.
If you choose, that's true, because most people are complaining about their life circumstances without really realizing that they're the ones that chose the situations that drove them step by step to their actual place where they're working or living. So
Exactly.
what if the signs that you're perceiving that you don't really enjoy your work is like the warning sign that you have to reevaluate what choices you made to get there and choose something different to create your life in a way that works for you?
Right. Well, exactly. Because some people think also it's like they don't realize, like, okay, if I chose this, I could actually choose something else.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And not choosing to do anything, just sitting there and waiting for circumstances to change is also a choice. It's a choice to do nothing.
And a choice that could be very stressful.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It is. Well, the interesting thing about stress, well, I know you're a health professional that for like the past decade or plus, you've been working with stress and relieving pain with different techniques, hypnotherapy and somatic therapy and all of the alternative therapies that you do. And I, from the medical side, do a lot of pain management. And the common things that we do is that a lot of the symptoms that the patients experience that are definitely physical because they feel very intense, are not necessarily only caused by physical things, trauma or overuse of the joint, or whatever, but have like a lot of mental and emotional charge to it.
Exactly. That people aren't willing to look at or don't even know is there. They're not willing, they're not aware of that component in terms of how stress can affect the body.
And
Um,
it's a lot because of the way we are taught that if you have a pain in your shoulder, the management has to be painkiller and muscle relaxant, but
right.
never questioning what is underneath the pain. Is
Ex-
there an emotion underneath it? Is there a frustration that he's living in his work? Is the marriage crumbling? And maybe that's the way the body is telling you that there's an issue, there's an area of your life that needs to be explored. Have you found that a common thread in all your patients with pain?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I have people whose pain medication isn't working. Well, because it's not even about that. It's about what's underneath everything that surrounds that, right? So, um, yeah, by the way, I don't know if you've ever heard this statistic, but like the NIH always says like 85% of, disease and pain, etc., is um, caused by stress.
Well,
And
stress is like the hidden cause of a lot of diseases and symptoms.
well, right. And so, we're both access certified facilitators, access consciousness certified facilitators, and there is the mantra of access that's all of life comes to us with ease, to me with ease, joy, and glory. And what I am always aware of when I'm working with bodies and working with beings that are experiencing discomfort, pain, stress, all of that, it's like, okay, this body that's not at ease can create what Western medicine calls a diagnosis and a disease. So, disease is a body that's not at ease in all the ways, whether it's stress or whether it's some other diagnosis that comes up.
Yeah.
So, how
I
do we get the body to be at ease and to be in the parasympathetic nervous system? Yeah.
Well, one of the tools, like the easiest one I always like teach the patients or share with the patients is that the easiest way is to connect to your body through your breathing. I mean, you have that so available to you. It's like breathing is not an automatic, not just an automatic response. It can be a very conscious act of gratitude. Without that oxygen that we're breathing, we wouldn't be talking. So oxygen is our main ingredient for life. And we just take it for granted. We just breathe through life without even acknowledging, without even thanking the air of thank you for expanding my lungs. Thank you for giving me that oxygen, that fuel for life. So let's just breathe a couple of times together to, show the people that it's extremely easy and it's delicious. And when you release the stress, it's like your rib cage expands and you can put so much more air into your lungs. And there's like a little dizziness that goes into your brain. It's almost like, ooh, like yummy, delicious. So let's just take a couple of sweet, delicious breaths
That,
of beautiful, nurturing air. And just think of how it enters our nose, our laryngeal space, goes through our bronchial, goes to our lungs and to our little alveoli, to each and every single one of those.
say
And then we absorb the oxygen into our circulation and then it flows to every single cell in our bodies.
yes. And people don't get that.
Do you feel it like this surge of energy, like this? But it's not like a maniac energy, like frenzy. It's like this boost of energy that comes with relaxation. And
Yeah,
that's the first tool that we have available to share,
that's like
breathing consciously.
yeah, I mean, exactly. So you got me all excited. I mean, we have all these built-in systems that
Yes.
people just aren't aware of. And
And
more,
stress is not bad. I mean, let's clarify something. When people hear the word stress, they immediately think that it's something bad. But
yeah,
that's not true. I mean, stress is a survival mechanism, and it can be the most life-saving situation. Like, if a building is on fire, you need to run as fast as you can, and you need all your energy drawn to your muscles so you can run. But the bad thing or the uncomfortable situation comes when it becomes a chronic stress that doesn't get resolved.
it becomes a way of living.
And the brain cannot distinguish if it's a real stress or if it's an imaginary stress.
Brain doesn't know fact from fiction. It only knows what you tell it by every single choice that you make consciously or unconsciously.
Yep.
You're feeding it information and then it just goes with that and says, okay. Our
Yeah.
brains are created.
Detonate the response, trigger that mechanism.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like I always tell the patients, like your brain can't really filter what you see from reality and what you're seeing as a movie, for example. If you go to a horror movie, the minute that the character is stabbing the other person, your body gets stressed, even though you are conscious that you're sitting in the movie theater chair and watching a fiction. But
Right.
your body gets that response, that totally stressful response, because it's seeing something in the projection and it's reacting accordingly to what you're feeding your brain. So we
And
can
that's why,
change our dialogue.
yeah, yeah. And that's the same thing that like athletes use that for growth and development and for their craft and their art. Um, yeah, and so like what would it be like for us to use that as well and for us to be aware of all the spaces and places where we're choosing that, where we're responding or reacting in that way instead of choosing something different. And that breathing that you're talking about, on the flip side of this, it's like people have a point of view about relaxation. And I was talking to somebody, a patient, about this the other day, because it's like relaxing, right? Like if I breathe all day, what am I going to do? Like
Yeah,
you're,
it's so true.
yeah,
People think you're relaxed, you're doing nothing, but you can have active relaxation. Like right now, we're having a conversation, we're enjoying each other, and we're relaxed. And
big.
when you're relaxed, you're more creative, more productive. I mean, even physically more capable to do more things because you're not straining your body.
Well, because you're also bringing yourself to the present constantly. And when you're in the present, everything can be created.
Mhm.
Like even the athlete who's relaxed. I mean, Michael, well, actually, I was at Essie and Susie Gotzi, who
Oh, tell
access.
us more about that. People don't know what SE is.
So Essie is a body process from Access Consciousness where we actually use the molecules of life, the molecules that are also in breath, to create change. And so we were having a conversation about relaxation and how people tend to think that when you're relaxed, nothing is possible, but it's actually the place from which everything is possible. And she brought up Michael Jordan, who, is one of the iconic basketball star, who, when he was going for his 3-point shots, he wasn't stressed. He
Mhm.
was reaching out.
Yeah.
His whole body was relaxed and open to this space of possibility. I don't know if she said all that, but that's what the energy I got from it. And could get the stretching and the relaxation.
I absolutely love how you say that. And I can visualize him in action and enjoying the action, not like going like performing to obtain a result, but
Exactly.
doing the movement because he absolutely adores the basketball court. He adores the body moving with the ball. I mean, you can see his enjoyment.
Right. And all the breath coming into that too. And no contraction,
Mhm,
all expansion.
mhm.
And it's like when you're constantly breathing, how much expansion can you have?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny because I also play tennis a
Mhm.
couple times a week. And my pro is always like, "You're the triple threat. You're the triple threat." And I'm like, no, he says you're so strong. And one day I was like, I don't know how strong I am muscularly, but when I go to hit the ball, there is such presence that anything that's required, I mean, through the physics of everything, obviously, as well, there is potency and power and strength that
Mhm.
comes through that, and a relaxation if I'm willing to be relaxed. Because there are days I come and I'm like, and there are days where I stretch out and pow, I hit that ball. Well, isn't it? What if it's the same in life?
Yeah.
How relaxed and open and expanded can you be to hit the ball, whatever the ball is?
Yeah. I love you mentioned that word, how open you are to be the space, because that actually like ties into like another very interesting tool to manage stress. And it's like stop separating from the rest of the world, stop creating all these barriers and walls and separations that we are taught that are useful to protect us,
We
when
have to.
in truth when in truth they only isolate you from receiving from the rest of the world. Because when you go through the world, like with your barriers all the way up to here, you cannot receive from the earth, you cannot receive from the birds singing in the morning, you don't even notice them. You're just like so, so isolated, you don't even sense the sun rays hitting your face. So another tool, if we're giving like a couple of practical tools for people to manage stress or to live more relaxed, would be to really like recognize that you don't need walls and protection. I mean, you can get rid of them, you can let them crumble and expose yourself to receive from everybody around you. Nobody's going to hurt you. It's just different points of view that people throw at you. It's only how you make them relevant that they'll affect you, and receive from the plants, from the animals, from the sun, from the breeze, from all the smells that we have around us.
So, yeah, can we actually do that for a moment and like people who are watching just to play with that energy of what? So, we're taught to put up a barrier to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
When we're doing that, protecting ourselves, we're actually cutting off our awareness from everything else. And also, it's a part of that contraction or that putting yourself in a box as opposed to expanding.
And also energetically, I mean, we're not talking energetically like as in metaphysical, in terms of energy expenditure, your body is expending a lot of energy to maintain that high, barrier, like that tightness.
Get
So,
me in. Like, I gotta
so
keep this in place. I gotta keep this in place instead of I just relax and everything happens for me and I
yep.
choose.
So you're wasting a lot of energy in order to maintain that control and that barrier up. The moment you choose to let them come down, you don't require a lot of energy going into that, and you have more energy for your bodily functions, for your organs to repair, for your skin to look more glowing. One of the side effects of living without stress is that you get to look a little bit younger than your peers. They tell you, wow, what do you do to your face? You look younger. Well, part of it is that you smile more. You're not like uptight all the time. So you
Right.
look happier and younger.
It's like you stop the flow of life in
Yeah.
all ways. Because like your nervous system is this system that everything's flowing, and when you go like this, it stops that flow. You like put on the brakes.
You're in overdrive.
Yeah, you're.
How long can you maintain that overdrive situation? Eventually it's going to crack.
So I just wanted everyone just to, you don't even have to do anything. It's just like all you can say out loud is just like, okay, I'm going to lower my barriers now.
Let's do it for a couple of seconds. Let's do it together. Let's just connect way beyond the little screens of the Zoom, and let's just connect to each other. Just recognize that there's really much more that is like uniting us. Kat Thomas, the creator of 7 Steps to Flawless Communication, always tells us that there's much more that unites us than what separates us. So let's just connect beyond the screens of the Zoom, beyond this. Just recognize that we're all living together in the same earth. We're all breathing the same air. And it's just ask the barriers to come down. I mean, you don't need to do anything, but we can like walk through the movement to make it easier for people, and just sense where your barriers are up, if they're up to here or if they're kind of in between. Just ask them to lower. Please, barriers, I don't need your protection anymore. Thank you for the job you did for me, but now it's not necessary. I can relax. Let them come down. Just relax, come down. If there's anything stuck, you can breathe and ask them to gently come down, and then expose yourself. Be completely open to receiving whatever stimuli is around you. The noise of the cars around you, the light that is coming through your window, the songs of the birds, the smell of coffee brewing near you, and anything else.
The flowers.
Yes. Yeah, the flowers behind me, they're contributing. And your orchid is so lovely also.
Thank you. I can't turn my fingers. It's just
So
peekaboo, peekaboo.
do you notice anything different in your body just by asking your barriers to come down?
And just noticing that. Yeah. I mean, well, ease is a word that comes up.
And
And
space, like
space.
almost like a void in the head. It's
Oh,
like
yeah. So, like
like
awareness, right? It's like, okay. Yeah, a spaciness, which sometimes people might call it. And what is actually available from that space, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whew. So we've covered a lot.
Yeah. So, what would it be like if you had more ease and relaxation in your life? Um, and Dr. Sarah and I are doing a online class called Transforming Burnout,
Yes.
because we both of us actually are in touch with a lot of people and who worked a lot during COVID, and a lot of people outside of that who are experiencing burnout and stress. And we'd like to invite you to come learn some tools to be able to change that and have some fun and enjoy all that life is, all of life, and all the molecules. Yeah, so that's happening on May 24th. It's a Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll post the link below in this video. And Dr. Sarah, I was talking so much, and do you want to add something to that?
Well, the idea to do this workshop is really to bring more ease, especially to the people that have been in healthcare working very, very intensively for the past couple of years, because we tend to be trained in the way that we're always there for service. Like we have to, service others, help others and all that. But we sometimes forget that the first person that you have to take care of is yourself. That's like you have to make yourself a priority to really then be able to share yourself with other people. So it's just like treating yourself with kindness, learning a few tools to have, do the work that you love, but do it with more ease and not end up with symptoms of, over stress for a long period of time. So that's the idea. It doesn't have to be healthcare workers that come to the workshop. It can be overtired moms or teachers that have been dealing with, you know, teaching online for a long time now, or anybody that works, New York finance world. It's very highly stressful and long work hours. So anybody that really has a lot of, you know, things going on in their life and are feeling a little bit overwhelmed or experiencing some health things like headaches, hypertension, problems with blood sugar, muscle tension, pain, insomnia. I mean, I can go on forever. The list of symptoms of stress is huge. So, any of those sound familiar to you? This might be a workshop that might give some useful tools for your life.
Yes, exactly. Maybe a little bit more laughter too.
Yeah. Oh, especially with you. I love laughing with you. Well, laughter therapy is a third tool that we can give them for this Zoom conversation. Laugh more. I mean, when you laugh, you can't really be stressed. I mean, it gets you out of the stress mode.
Yeah, I that's one of the things too that I do in my work is like there's something called laughter yoga, laughter therapy. And again, your mind doesn't know the difference of when you're, you know, really laughing, and eventually it starts to just kick in all the beautiful hormones that can contribute to more ease and less stress. So,
Yeah, love that. Well, I'm really looking forward for this workshop. Carla, I think we lost Carla in the connection. Okay, so we'll post the information underneath for the workshop, and we're looking forward to hearing from you, any comments, and would be very delighted to have you online for this workshop on May 4th. So have a great day. Bye.